Eminem, Macklemore, Vanilla Ice. The images of many icons line the walls of the White Rapper Hall of Fame. Yet there's one legendary act that's conspicuous by their absence. 3 rap gods who came from the mean streets of Toccoa, Georgia and brought us such classics as Get Crunk, Haters, and True Pimpin'. I'm talking about Freeze, Blade, The Flame. This is the story of the Icy Hot Stuntaz. This episode is sponsored by Raycon. Ever since I've got them, my wireless Raycon earbuds have gone with me everywhere. They sound great, they fit comfortably, and they stay connected to my phone. And what's more, Raycon was co-founded by Ray J, and is beloved by none other than the one and only Melissa Etheridge. Raycon earbuds start about half the price of any other premium earbuds, and they sound just as great as the other top brands that you know. Their latest model, the Everyday E25, is their best one yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, and more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice, noise-isolating fit. And it also comes in fun new colors. Just check the link in the description below to get 15% off your order.
Icy hot, true pimpin'. True.
The Icy Hot Stuntaz were one of the greatest memes of 2001, and I was really surprised that when I was talking about making this video, a lot of people told me that they did not remember them. That's something that I gotta fix right now. The Icy Hot Stuntaz website, which was created sometime around April of 2001, begins by inviting you to click on the rap star you want to drool about. We've got the Blade. Don't get cut by the Blade. Yeah, you know this. Blade, the leader of the group and quite possibly the most dangerous person you have ever met. 2 years in state pen for armed robbery, 4 years in rehab, still on the yayo, and who knows what's next for this tight food. The Flame, your punk ass is gonna get burned by the Flame. Thought yeah wasn't a sucker? Flame, the fastest rapper on 4 wheels. This guy spends his time blowing away fools in his pimped out Firebird. Just kick out them Brembos. Stop yourself on a dime. In his past, Flame has done time for outrunning the 5-0 and cutting some punk sucker up. And Freeze. His bio wasn't linked correctly and it goes to a page where they're talking about their cars, but look at him, he's blue. It's like if the Planeteers were white rappers. And the Icy Hot Stuntaz let us know that they came here with one mission. Aw shit, yo punk ass has just come to the hardest, fattest, and tightest group the world has ever seen. Icy Hot Stuntaz in the 2G+1. We ain't like your backdoor boys, your N-Sucks, or your Britney Smears, and if yo think we is like yo Puff Mommy, yo Snoof Puff, or yo dumb ex, you is crazy wrong. We are taking the hip-hop scene to a whole new level, only rolling in the fattest damn cars where it's on dubs, cutting tracks that smash the charts and shit, and making sure we have enough ice to make you go blind. If you came to our fat site to play a hate, then get the hell out. We ain't needing ya. Sucker! Now, the story of the Icy Hot Stuntaz gets really confusing very quickly. So confusing, in fact, that it kinda made me change the way I keep my research on these videos, probably making the channel moving forward better for having covered the Icy Hot Stuntaz. When covering these kinds of old websites, I've mentioned a lot that something that would happen really commonly was as soon as one of these websites went viral, people would make a bunch of parody sites of it. And I don't think I've ever seen as many parody sites pop up as they did for the Icy Hot Stuntaz. Most of the parody sites just kinda mock the Icy Hot Stuntaz by talking the way that they talk, essentially making them indistinguishable from the genuine website. And one of them seemed to have been made by someone they might have known in real life with a bit of a personal grudge, who had pictures of them not as the Icy Hot Stuntaz. Of what's been archived, we have one of the stunners in a pretty preppy outfit holding a tennis racket, and it calls him a poser because he plays tennis. Also, this being 2001, pretty much all of the parody sites just called them gay. Icy Hot Stuntaz, fighting for gay rights everywhere. You might think, wow, that's fighting for gay rights everywhere, that's very kind of them. Surprisingly woke for a bunch of gangster rappers who've been in and out of prison so many times, right? But you gotta remember, once again, this is 2001, so rest assured that this is them getting owned. One of the better made parodies started off by mostly just imitating the original page and keeping a blog with update posts that gradually get more and more ridiculous. We see the Icy Hot Stuntaz upload their pictures on hotornot.com. The Blade tries to donate blood, but it gets rejected because he has the West Nile virus. And then they tried to join the army after 9/11. This page was actually maintained for a few years, and at the end, the person running it would eventually try to promote his own music, which was actually something that was pretty common with these sites as well. And what was also common was the release of a few music videos pretending to be the Icy Hot Stuntaz, both as parodies and both as people trying to use the attention to get themselves some notoriety. And that being said, I think it's very, very possible, probably likely, that the original Icy Hot Stuntaz site, the one that went viral, being shared through emails and sites like Something Awful and Fark.com, there's a strong chance that that one itself was a parody that had nothing to do with the Icy Hot Stuntaz. Just looking at the bios and all the writing on the original website, it seems likely to me that that one was making fun of another website that might have been more legitimate that this guy saw and was quickly deleted or just never got any kind of attention. And there were some people who thought that maybe the Icy Hot Stuntaz were a deliberate satire made by the guys on the site. Basically an online Malibu's Most Wanted before Malibu's Most Wanted. Either way, the Icy Hot Stuntaz would eventually actually release some music, which takes us to mp3.com. And now, mp3.com itself isn't very well archived, so some of what I'm about to say is going off of memory, and I might be wrong. But I recall the very early days of mp3.com being a very basic, bare-bones site with just a list of songs you could download. Eventually, they had a lawsuit that made them take all that stuff down and kind of rebrand as a more legitimate site, and that more legitimate site is somewhat archived. And once they went in that more legitimate direction, it became a pretty big destination to discover new music. I remember finding out about a lot of different bands on there, and I even remember doing stuff like streaming a concert where Slipknot opened for Cold Chamber on my shitty 56K modem. And as time went on, it became more and more of a destination, not just to find, bigger acts like that, but also for independent artists to showcase their music. The Icy Hot Stuntaz page on mp3.com does not appear to have been archived in any way, but going by the context clues, it appears that there were 9 songs in total. Of those 9 tracks, only 2 have been preserved. Get Crunk? And of course, True Pimpin'.
True pimpin'. Icy hot, true pimpin'.
And even listening to the songs, it's still kinda difficult to tell if this was done as a satire or if it was made as an earnest attempt to make good music. But the more I looked into this story, the more convinced I became that this group was 100% a legitimate effort. So let's take a look at where the Icy Hot Stuntaz wound up after 2001. Very little could be found out about what happened to their leader, Blade. As for Freeze, allegedly he made a Homestead webpage of his own, and on this page, he talks shit about the other Icy Hot Stuntaz. The earliest remaining archive of this webpage is from November of 2005, and unfortunately, it's a dead link. All that remains of Freeze's webpage is a quote in an article from Next Impulse Sports. I did some research, practiced my rhymes, and came up with some of the fattest beats the world ever saw, but the Flame and Blade weren't having none of it. They says I wasn't taking it serious and so on. Bastards told me that I was no good, worst thing they ever seen. But they used my songs and got a crappy replacement. Now you see how big they are? Shizzle my nizzle, these guys got huge off my work. And now it's time for you all to know the truth. Spread the word, y'all. Now, due to all the fakery around the Icy Hot Stuntaz, and due to the fact that this sounds like a guy making fun of how white rappers talk, common sense dictates that this website was probably not actually made by Freeze. But that being said, the story that's being told here is actually corroborated by something I found later. And that being said, let's talk about The Flame, or as he is now known, B-Shoc. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to show you the Jesus lean.
Yeah. See, I know y'all like to dance, so we about to do the Jesus lean, like this.
Left, left,
Bounce for the king, bounce for the king, bounce for the king,
right,
bounce for the king, bounce for the king.
Judging by this color scheme, I'm assuming Jesus is a crip.
Jesus lean, do the Jesus lean, do the Jesus
Look at
lean.
this girl, she can't keep it together, she's absolutely losing her shit. This kid's all out of sync. How do you mess up the Jesus lean? You just slightly tilt in a direction. But at least he's having a better time than these two. You got that right. The Flame is now known as B-Shoc, and he's spreading the word of Christ through the power of rap. And if we look at the bio on his website, it speaks of his beginnings. Pursuing music from the young age of 16 and getting sucked up into this wild partying lifestyle that completely consumed him and left him depressed. He decided that he needed to make a change, and that's when he chose to rap about God. And I could have ended the video here. It's a pretty shocking revelation that this guy just became a Christian rapper, but something about that conclusion, it felt like there's still a missing piece of the puzzle. There's a big gap between the Icy Hot Stuntaz and B-Shoc. Whenever I would look up anything about this story, it would just be told as, okay, so 2001 you have the Icy Hot Stuntaz, and then all of a sudden now you got B-Shoc, Christian rapper, used to be the Flame. But there's such like a wide gap there that surely there had to be something in the middle. And then I found that something. You see, the current version of B-Shoc's website makes absolutely no reference to the Icy Hot Stuntaz. But if you go to the Internet Archive, that piece of the puzzle emerges in 2003. B-Shoc was B-Shoc, but the project wasn't just B-Shoc. It was B-Shoc and the Dirty South Basement Boys, aka the Icy Hot Stuntaz rebranded. And this version of the bio contains a little bit more information about what actually happened. So for the first time in 17 years, I present to you the story of the Icy Hot Stuntaz as told by The Flame. B-Shoc has grown up in the small town of Toccoa, Georgia, now labeled by him T.O.C. He began having dreams of being on stage rocking crowds in elementary school. He would find himself writing songs on paper and hiding them under his bed, getting them out to sing every so often. It wasn't until the early years of high school that he had finally decided that rap was the genre for him. He discovered a kid in his school owned a small homemade studio. After begging this guy for 3 months, he finally provided B-Shoc with some simple rap beats. B-Shoc spent a few weeks with these beats and wrote a few songs. He appeared at this homemade studio one night and rapped away. This turned into making a 6-song CD with 2 of his friends. He obtained some local fame with an open concert held in a car garage. After selling many CDs right there in town, a few guys started hating and attempted to torch the group by spreading thousands of degrading websites of them around the world. This corroborates my theory that at least one of the websites was made by someone who knew them in real life and had a personal vendetta. It also means that perhaps there never actually was a real official Icy Hot Stuntaz website. It's possible that they were just put online by that one guy with a vendetta, and then every single parody website was people making fun of that fake website. Even though it was bad publicity, it was publicity. B-Shoc said this was simply motivation for him. This is when his heart set on fire. The group decided to change their names from whom they had previously been known. This is when B-Shoc became B-Shoc. His mother gave him the name. He took out loans and forked out thousands of dollars to purchase his own studio. Immediately, he went to work, mastering the beat machine, mastering the studio mechanics, and most of all, mastering his voice on the microphone. He named his studio DSB, Dirty South Basement Productions. After making The B-Shoc Show, a solo CD strictly for practice, one of the guys in his previous group told him that he wanted to stay in the game and was dedicated and down for whatever. He goes by the name Lil Rel. I'm assuming Lil Rel was Blade, and that website that was supposed to be by Freeze really was by Freeze, or was made by someone who was aware of this situation. B-Shoc then picked up C. Rainey and the girl Bash. These 4 members formed B-Shoc and the Dirty South Basement Boys. Most of them attending school in different locations would call each other at night, rapping the new verses they had wrote that day, dying for the weekend to come so they could meet in the studio and lay it down. The group came out with the hot CD, Mean Streets. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was getting it. Everybody was bumping it everywhere they went. Interestingly, according to an old post on Fark.com, the album Mean Streets was actually uploaded to the Icy Hot Stuntaz mp3.com page. Meaning that essentially, this album, along with the one on the website Shockology, Headbobbin 101, are lost Icy Hot Stuntaz albums. Currently, B-Shoc is also on tennis scholarship at his school, with many tennis accomplishments in the past, such as being ranked number 3 in the state of Georgia. What? A rapper that plays tennis? That sounds twisted. But not since B-Shoc's music has hit the streets. As for now, B-Shoc is aiming for the top with his new blazing album, Shockology. He puts all of his faith and trust in G.O.D., asking him for the best. B-Shoc prays that he will be a good influence for the rest of the world forever. And then if you want, you can find out, how do I become Christian and go to heaven? Can you imagine finding God through the Icy Hot Stuntaz? So it seems like the truth is, not only were the Icy Hot Stuntaz real, but they never went away. This discovery is the evolutionary link between the Icy Hot Stuntaz and B-Shoc, who still continues to make an abundance of music to this very day, and who even now maintains his YouTube channel, where he's been vlogging about his experiences in the studio during the pandemic. And although maybe he wanted to bury his connection to the Icy Hot Stuntaz, I think it's cool that one of the internet's earliest memes still lives on to this very day. But anyway, that's the story of the Icy Hot Stuntaz. If you like this video, check out my video about urinalpoop.com. I'm out.
Get crunk